Well, hello there, everybody. How are you doing? Hope you are doing well on this Friday. Hello there, Queen. Nice to see you, sweet goth. Fantastic to see you, Joe. Thank you for joining. Hello there, DTI. Good to see you, and Mr. Level. Big hug to all of you, and a special hug to you, Mr. Level. I wasn't trying to not say hi to just you, so you got a special hug. So today was the second half of the conference. If you were aware that the Multilevel Marketing, the Consumer Protection Challenge conference was occurring these past couple of days, yesterday being Thursday and today Friday. And today I was slated to present. However, I was cut off about 24 minutes into my roughly 30-minute presentation. So I'm going to do it all here. But I will say, I sure am glad that the other creators, that they were given an extra 15 minutes. And apparently, for me speaking, that was going to cause people to miss their flights because it was a traveling day, because that's what was said, that, oh, well, we got to stay on time because, people are, they're traveling. But, other people were given more time, which I guess somehow them having more time magically did not have an impact on any flights or anybody, being delayed because they were taking longer. I mean, I don't really understand how that's different, but apparently, I guess there's just, some kind of like sorcery going on or something, and that's just different. So we'll just do this here, because I want to make sure that, because this is very important information. And where I was cut off at, I was in part way, I think, in the LiveGood section. And I got a bit flustered because, when you're kind of like in mid-sentence and you're not expecting for someone to interrupt you, you have to kind of like gather your thoughts. And I was trying to gather my thoughts and continue at the same time, which is a bit challenging because I was trying to figure out where to go in the presentation to wrap it up so that people would also get but you're not going to get the full impact when you don't hear the full presentation. So there really was no way for me to do that. And I don't feel that I was able to really get my full message across because, being cut off as I was, you don't really get all of it when you have part of it still going on, So we're going to do that. And I do have everything written down because I have spent probably the past 2 months, researching and writing this and all of that, and practicing it since last Thursday or Friday, I started practicing it. So spent a lot of time on it. So since I spent a lot of time putting it together, and I think it's very important information, then, I'm going to make sure that it gets out there, even if not the people at the conference weren't able to, have the full thing for whatever reason, because I was going to cause people to be, they were going to be delayed. They were going to miss their flight because I was going over, which I had not even reached my full 30 minutes because I was cut off at like 24 minutes. But, I digress. Somehow, they made it make sense, I'm sure, to those who were attending live. It will still befuddle me because I don't think it makes any damn sense. So we're going to do that here. And like I said, I have everything, in my speaker notes written out. So I will be reading from that. And, I can pause and see if you guys have any questions and everything, in between this, because now, since I'm not worried about time, because I was trying to get through everything very quickly. And obviously, I guess I was just taking too damn long, but let's give other people 15 minutes extra. Okay. Yeah. I'm just a little bit befuddled. Like, I just don't understand. How is that a difference? What's the difference there? I guess, I said things that were not appreciated or were not supposed to be said, or that were not welcome. That's the only thing I can figure out, is that, my views weren't welcomed. So, message received. And, that's fine. have my drink with me. And Chalupa, I know Salsa is curled up next to me, and Chalupa is down at the end of the bed. I thought it was Chalupa because he's usually stuck to my side like this. Hey there, Violet. How are you doing? Exactly. What the heck? That's kind of pretty much what how I felt. It's like, but stronger words were in my mind. And let me pull you guys up on my phone at least so that I can see if there's, like chitter chatter going on so I can respond to you, because I don't want to, be rude and like not see the chat and stuff, but I don't have 3 screens yet. And sometime I do have a story about that. So, because of the crazy ass tariffs and everything like that, I really need another computer because my laptop as it is, I am like nearly out of all memory. And I do have external drives. I have several, but I really want to be able to work off of something where I don't have to keep going to these different jump drives and stuff, because when I'm like presenting and everything, it's a bit awkward for me to do that. And one thing because I don't have that much space, because I have like a little tray that I'm at, because I'm sitting, at my bed. And I think you guys realize that. And so some of these things that I'm using, they take up space. That's why I want to be able to have like a computer, a laptop with more memory. And I was looking to get a new Mac, and they sent it back because I didn't pick it up in time, even though I never saw the damn email. And I'm like, can't you call? No, oh, we don't call. Well, damn. It's like, I'm sure you guys probably get a sea of emails, because I get a sea of emails, and being able to see everything when it comes in, I can't keep up with all of that. So, if you're just going to only email me, there's a good chance I'm not going to see shit. But I don't have it since they sent it back. So I'm still kind of dealing with the fact that everything's a bit of a mishmash here. And hopefully I will be able to do that, because I certainly could not afford to do this. But I'm like, you know what? I will pay the amount each month. I'll just not be able to do other things. But now I'm just going to be limping along with this since they pissed me off. Why is it that Apple has to be such assholes sometimes, Hey, CD, how are you doing? I do hope a 3rd screen will be coming soon, but I don't know if I'm going to get one until I get the new laptop, because I don't want to, get the extender twice, even though I really do need it. Hey there, Salami. How are you, my love? Hope you are well. Okay, let me go to where you guys are. And, there is some time I am going to be doing, but I don't know if I'm going to get one until I get the new laptop, because I don't want to. Now I can hear myself. The extender twice, even though I really do need it. Hang on. Hey there, Salami. How are you? Just kind of pause myself there, and let me see. I'm not sure. I'm sure I'll just see your chat going. I'm just pausing myself, but hopefully I'll be able to see your chat going too. So I am going to want to share my screen. Yes, that's what I want to do. Alonda, you want to share your screen. So we're going to do this. And then I need to do that. And voila. Okay. I'm actually able to do it. Okay. Here we go. So I guess I'm going to say to you guys, good evening. I'm Alonda Carter, also known as the Recovering Hunbot, but you guys know that, a consumer advocate and social media activist. Today, I'm here to talk about a hidden crisis, the impact that multi-level marketing has on aging adults, especially those nearing or already in retirement who rely solely on Social Security for their income. Through their recruitment practices, MLMs not only worsen economic instability, but also prey on the basic human need for belonging. Many are led to believe that they will build real income and lasting connections, leaving a legacy for their families and for those in need around the world, when in reality, most are left financially and emotionally devastated. One thing all MLMs have in common is their ability to exploit human vulnerabilities. We're living in a time of deep financial insecurity. Wages are stagnant, debt is rising, jobs are harder to find. MLMs step into this gap, offering the promise of extra income and the dream of having more control over life, lifestyle, income, and time. To those struggling, MLMs don't just sell products, they sell hope. Hope for a different way, hope for a different life, hope that all their needs and dreams can finally be fulfilled. Annual conferences are one of the many ways MLM companies keep participants emotionally tied to the supposed opportunity. In these examples, you see the typical faces we associate with MLMs. Young women in their 20s, 30s, and 40s, many of them moms, army wives, recent college graduates, and newlyweds. All of them were sold the same dream. These bright and hopeful women cling to the belief that they can earn meaningful income or replace their full-time jobs with MLM sales. But what you don't often see are their counterparts, women in their 50s, 60s, 70s, and older. Just because they are less visible does not mean they are not participating. Older adults are deeply involved and often suffer even greater consequences. The targeting of older adults in multi-level marketing is a demographic that receives very little attention. Since I started covering one particular company, OnPassive, it became clear to me that some organizations specifically target this particular demographic. As we age, many of us experience physical, cognitive, or social vulnerabilities. These vulnerabilities dramatically increase the risk of abuse, neglect, financial exploitation, and in some cases, even sexploitation. Sadly, these vulnerabilities don't exist in a vacuum. They are often amplified by ageism, a form of discrimination, prejudice, or stereotyping based on age that touches nearly every aspect of an older adult's life. Ageism can be subtle or overt, but either way, it reduces opportunities and impacts quality of life. It creates barriers to employment, either by limiting older adults' chances of getting hired or restricting their opportunities for growth once they are employed. It leads to unequal access to healthcare, as medical concerns are often dismissed with the assumption that this is just part of getting older. Social exclusion happens when older adults are left out of invitations, events, or activities, which leads to isolation, loneliness, depression, and negative self-perception. And finally, financial instability becomes a serious issue with limited income, fewer chances to earn, and the increased difficulty maintaining a stable standard of living. Now that we've looked at the broader forces impacting older adults, we will turn our attention to other troubling matters. And I'm going to see if you guys are saying anything in the chat. Hey, CD, glad to see you. Elder abuse refers to any deliberate or careless action by a caregiver or another individual that causes harm or poses significant risk of harm. This type of abuse can happen anywhere. Each year, 1 in 10 adults age 60 and older experience some form of abuse, whether it's physical, sexual, emotional, psychological, or financial. Financial exploitation is officially reported at around 5%. This number is most certainly much higher, because only 1 in 24 cases of elder abuse are reported to authorities. And when it comes to MLMs, many want to put the experience behind them, so they stay silent. But silence does not mean that financial abuse by MLMs isn't happening. It's happening, and it's happening far more often than people realize. Elder fraud involves any type of financial scam or exploitation targeting older adults. This type of fraud relies on deceit, coercion, and manipulation, with the perpetrator gaining financially at the victim's expense. There are countless scams that older adults are most vulnerable to, but rarely, if at all, is multi-level marketing included on these lists. And it should be. But for now, MLM is the silent financial scam that crosses all demographics, but it has potential to do the most devastation to older adults. If this were a news article, this is where you might hear about legitimate MLMs versus pyramid schemes in disguise. My stance is clear. Multi-level marketing is not a legitimate business. MLMs operate very differently from traditional businesses. Most of their revenue comes not from genuine customers, but from ill-informed contractors recruiting new ill-informed contractors, each of whom must purchase some form of a starter kit. It's a pay-to-play system where participants have zero control over pricing, branding, inventory, or product development. They're told they're business owners, but really, they are powerless agents labeled as independent contractors. These so-called distributors are required to meet ongoing sales quotas. To remain eligible for commissions, they must stay active, which usually means purchasing products month after month, whether they want them or not. And because of the large rate of people quitting MLMs each year, those who remain must keep recruiting perpetually. They try to plug in the missing Jenga pieces and hope to keep the whole structure from collapsing. Let me ask you, when was the last time you heard someone outside of an MLM rave about the amazing MLM products? At a dinner party, a family gathering, in a line at a grocery store? You haven't, right? And the reason is the only people singing the praises of MLM products are the ones who are trying to sell them, the distributors themselves. In MLM, the customer base is internal, and what keeps members inside the illusion are cult-like tactics. Love bombing, us versus them mentalities, toxic positivity. You must always think positive no matter the losses. Specialized language that separates members from outsiders. Control of information, denying and demonizing anything that challenges the narrative. Over time, members don't question the system, they question themselves. They're taught that if they fail, it's their own fault. And yes, there are even more traps, like overly complicated compensation plans and unreachable rank advancements designed to create the illusion of success. But for now, it's enough if we all admit the truth. This is not a business. It's a rigged system designed to keep people buying, hoping, and blaming themselves for their inevitable failure. In 2023, reported financial losses from scams targeting adults 60 and above exceeded $3.4 billion, an 11% increase compared to the previous year. Of that total, investment fraud alone accounted for over $1.24 billion, making up more than 1/3 of the total financial loss. From 2021 to 2023, the victimization of older adults increased by 209%, and the total financial losses surged by 419%, much of it driven by investing in cryptocurrency scams. These numbers are staggering, and they reveal just how aggressively older adults are being targeted for financial exploitation. As we've seen, the financial exploitation of older adults is growing at an alarming rate. Now let's take a closer look at the true financial impact and how MLMs fit into this devastating picture. Again, I'm going to just pause to see, if you guys are saying anything that I need to address. Hey, Jelly, nice to see you. And yeah, they are some high numbers. They certainly are. In the United States, most people retire between the ages of 61 and 67, with the average retirement age being 62. As of 2025, those retiring at 62 can receive a maximum of $2,831 per month from Social Security. At full retirement age, which is 67, the maximum benefit rises to $4,018 per month. Those who delay retirement until the age of 70 can receive up to $5,108 per month. When we look at the different generations, two main sources of retirement income are consistent across the board: Social Security and personal savings and investments. For some 40% of retirees who rely exclusively on Social Security for their retirement income, it does not cover all of their average expenses. The shortfall is over $34,000. Younger adults earn on average $75,000 annually, whereas retirees do not receive a third of that from Social Security for their income. Even when we factor in additional sources for retirees like pensions, investments, or part-time work, Younger adults still earn over $16,000 more a year than their older counterparts. The income gap highlights how difficult it is for retirees to maintain even a modest lifestyle, and why many are vulnerable to the financial promises of MLMs that seem to offer hope for a better future. The cost to join an MLM can vary widely, but on average, it's somewhere between $100 and $600 just to get started. In most cases, new members are also required to make an initial product purchase, typically between $100 and $300, although many end up spending much more. Younger adults tend to allocate about 11% more of their earnings towards discretionary expenses. Retirees, on the other hand, have 11% less to spend, making any new financial obligation a burden. Even a few $100s is far more devastating for them. And while ageism can affect people across all ages, it hits retirees especially hard. For many older adults, buying into an MLM isn't just a risk. It's a financial gamble they can't afford to lose. The financial impact of MLMs on older adults is significant, draining savings, creating new debt, and compounding the very insecurities these companies claim to solve. Many MLMs specifically design their messaging to appeal to older adults, tapping into hopes for health, security, and independence. And again, before I continue, I'm going to look to see if there's anything you guys are saying that I need to address. You wish you could have worked until 67. I'm hoping to be able to work until I'm 70. Many elderly are all the above, unfortunately. Yep. So to scammers and people wanting to take advantage, it's an easy target. Exactly. Yeah. Very easy target. And that's why I brought it up. That's why I'm talking about it. Exactly. Although the mantra of all MLMs is that anyone can join and be successful, like other brands, each tends to focus on a specific demographic. Those targeting younger people focus on beauty, wellness, lifestyle, and social media aesthetics. The recruitment occurs more on social media platforms that appeal to a younger audience, such as Instagram and TikTok. Younger adults tend to get caught up in the appeals of glamour, independence, hustle culture, and the visual transformations. MLMs targeting older people focus on health, long-term wellness, financial security, or mission-driven opportunities. And for them, recruitment happens more often by word of mouth, community events, Facebook, and YouTube. Older individuals seek health, security, community, and the simplified business promises that MLM offers. The appeal of MLMs deeply resonates with the ageism older adults face due to employment barriers, economic instability, and the feelings of social isolation they often face. MLMs seem to offer a pathway to fill the financial gaps that leave many choosing between meals and medication. For those seeking greater independence and hoping to not rely solely on government support in their later years, MLMs appear to provide a second chance at earning income they may not have secured earlier in life. In addition, the community aspects of MLMs helps ease the pain of social isolation. Participants find, now I lost my place, sorry. I'm trying to scroll too. Participants find themselves surrounded by others seeking the same things: purpose, connection, and hope. It feels good to be part of something, and MLMs know that. After all, as humans, we are wired to belong. Now I'll share with you a few examples. Getting a sip. And I'm going to check on you guys as well. Oh, wow, Joe. Very easy target. Maybe that's why I started to follow this content. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Sweet Goth, I'm with you. I despise scams too. Yeah. I think we all of us here do. Yep. Right. It is like pick someone on your own size. Yeah. Yep. Hello, Serene. How are you doing, sweetheart? Okay. One clear example of targeting older adults is Enagic, with promises of financial freedom and better health through Kangen water. Founded in the 1970s, Enagic is a company that sells water ionizers under the brand name Kangen water. Pictured here are three of the core products, often referred to as the Enagic trifecta. The Anespa system, it's for your shower, one of Enagic's water ionizer machines, and a special Kangen tea. Over the years, Enagic's Enagic distributors have formed a number of marketing groups to promote the products. One such group is the Enagic Dream Team, created by Darren Ewert and Mike Dreher in 2016. The Dream Team has been instrumental in promoting Enagic's products and its business opportunity to new recruits. Darren and Mike's backstory is somewhat fragmented. They place a lot of emphasis on having entrepreneurial experience, but when you look closer, it's difficult to verify. It appears that the bulk of Darren and Mike's professional identity today revolves around their involvement with Enagic and building their funnel system to recruit others into their team. These are some of the faces of typical Dream Team members and a few of their leaders. Mike and Darren present themselves as just a couple of regular guys who supposedly discovered a system and are now generously sharing it with others for a price. Their funnel moves people through a so-called free webinar, but the real purpose is to convince attendees to purchase their $149 course. And let's be clear, the course itself isn't anything special. It mostly teaches very basic social media advertising strategies, and it can easily fool those who are unfamiliar with MLM tactics and digital marketing. What Darren and Mike don't make clear up front is that once you pay the $149, you'll still need to spend even more because running social media ads costs money. In reality, the system isn't about empowering people. It's about pulling them deeper into a cycle of pay-to-play marketing. And it doesn't stop there. In the last iteration of their course that I reviewed, they introduced the MLM send-out cards as an additional income stream for their members to join. And if someone reaches the Enagic rank of 5A, it became mandatory for those acting as coaches for their course to also join Positive Shift Academy, another paid platform tied to Darren and Mike. And I will tell you guys, I did not say this in the presentation. I didn't say a lot of things during it, being cut off and all, is that they also at one time promoted a travel MLM as well. And now I can't think of what that one was called. But basically, they had like a couple of other MLMs in there, in addition to the, Positive Shift Academy. But, all of those cost money. And who's actually getting the money? It's not the people that were joining. It's Darren and Mike. But, they're just, leveraging it. It's like, oh, you need other income streams. Everybody needs multiple income streams. And I find that to be so disgusting and so highly deceptive and immoral that they would do that. But, that's me. Maybe there's other people just think like, oh, that's not a problem. If you're going to get them to join one, why don't you get them to join 10? Those who purchase the course are told they can request a refund within 30 days unless they take the coaching call. Once you take that coaching call, you forfeit your right for a refund. Now let's talk about these so-called coaches. They aren't trained professionals. They're simply Dream Team members who have reached at least the Enagic rank of 5A. And they earn $50 for every person they successfully sign up into the system. And when I say to you guys, sign up into the system, as soon as you buy an Enagic product, then you're eligible to, have other people buy products from you. So by buying a product, you effectively become a distributor. And their real job on the call is to upsell you, to persuade you to buy the full Enagic trifecta I mentioned earlier. Altogether, the cost of the trifecta is around $10,000. And if you don't have that sitting around, like who does? No problem. They'll suggest taking out a loan or charging it across multiple credit cards. In other words, this coaching call is just a high-pressure sales pitch designed to lock people deeper into debt. Once you say yes, sign up as a distributor and place your initial order, you're immediately invited into their private Facebook group. There, you're love bombed, flooded with congratulatory posts. But many of these members aren't actually making much money, if any at all. It's a facade. The goal is to make you believe that success is inevitable, simply because everyone around you seems so positive and successful. Meanwhile, you're already in debt. But now you have a brand new social circle that reinforces the idea that you just need to keep going. You start attending meeting after meeting, webinar after webinar, getting ready to run your first ad, an ad you were never warned about back when you bought the course. You don't find out about that until it's too late, and that the cost of running ads is even more money. So there you are, already in debt, love bombed into feeling part of a winning team, desperate to recoup the money you've already spent. What you don't realize is everyone else running ads is your direct competition. The ones showing off stacks of earnings have more money to spend on advertising. And the real big shots don't often run ads at all because their downlines are running ads for them and they're collecting commissions off their efforts. It's not a team, it's a system designed to keep you believing, spending, and struggling to catch up. The Enagic Dream Team pushes the health benefits of Kangen water, claiming it can boost energy, slow aging, even heal the body. For older adults, that taps straight into the fear of decline and the desire to feel young and strong again. They offer what they call a business in a box, income without needing traditional job skills. For older adults who face age discrimination in the workforce, that sounds like a real lifeline. Their marketing leans heavily on emotional stories, freedom, family, legacy. After years of work, those dreams feel personal and powerful to someone approaching or already in retirement. The high-ticket model promises big commissions. For someone worried they haven't saved enough, the idea of a fast track to retirement security is extremely tempting. Darren and Mike's style is very personal and motivational, casual, friendly, relatable. Older adults, often turned off by corporate jargon, find that style easier to trust. And again, it's the promise of working from anywhere, living in a relaxed laptop lifestyle. It offers a way back into the economy without facing all the barriers older workers usually encounter. At its core, the Enagic Dream Team sells a dream carefully shaped around age-related fears and hopes. And like the others, they lean heavily on ageist assumptions to make it stick. While Darren and Mike sell the dream through high-ticket health and wealth promises, another company approaches the same audience from a different angle, a low-cost membership model that still preys on the very same hopes and vulnerabilities. That company is LiveGood. Like many companies targeting older adults, LiveGood doesn't just sell products. It sells a sense of security, vitality, and belonging, and those promises come with a hidden cost. Gonna check on you guys again. Oh, yeah, OnPassive Vibe and the favorite Amway. 3 streams of income. Woo! Yeah. Oh, Sweet Goss says, oh, hey there, Baron. How are you doing? MLMs encourage multiple streams, yet Ghostbusters taught us to never cross the streams. Who you going to call? I needed that one. In cruises, yes. Yes, in cruises. Yes. That is the one. Thank you. Yep, I couldn't remember what it was. Yep. Okay, let me continue with LiveGood, but before I do that, let me take a sip because I got to take a sippy poo. LiveGood's lower price point makes it easier to pull people in, especially older adults looking for security, vitality, and a fresh start. To understand LiveGood, to understand how LiveGood became so effective at this, we need to look at how the company was formed and how it carefully positioned itself to exploit these hopes. In 2022, LiveGood was born. The CEO, Ben Glenski, had a long and extensive history in the world of MLM. Before LiveGood, he founded several other companies, including Skinny Body Care, which was sold to Volantis in 2019, Rejuvenate Worldwide, a health and wellness MLM, and ProBuilder, an MLM-focused lead generation system. Like Ben, Nada Kazan, I'm not sure if that's how you say his last name, but that's how I said it, LiveGood's global master distributor also has a long MLM history going back to 1998. He founded companies such as Stitforp, I'm not sure how to say it, and I don't think anybody does know how to say it, so I'm just going with that, AliveMax, and Global Lead. Both Ben and Nodder didn't just stumble into LiveGood. They built it with the full knowledge and experience of how to design, scale, and profit from MLM systems. To join LiveGood, There's a one-time affiliate fee of $40 plus an ongoing membership fee of $9.95 per month. Or you can pay $99.95 annually if you prefer. Now, unlike some MLMs, LiveGood doesn't require you to buy products each month or carry inventory, but they definitely encourage you to buy products for personal use. And they also give you the option to resell the products, if you want. To earn money with LiveGood, you start by collecting a fast start commission of $25 for every person you personally recruit who signs up as an affiliate. Then the company promotes the idea of their 2x15 force matrix where your potential monthly earnings are based on how many people are in your matrix. Here's how it breaks down. Level 1 through 12, you earn 25 cents per person per month. Level 13 and 14, you earn $1 per person per month. And levels 15, you earn $2 per person per month. In their marketing, LiveGood often advertises that you can earn up to $2,947.50 per month without ever personally recruiting anyone. In theory, that's technically possible, but in reality, it's extremely rare because most members never come close to filling their 2x15 matrix. I think it was somewhere around here is where I was cut off. And so, nobody has heard this part of it, but you guys get to hear it first because you're here. Affiliates market the alleged LiveGood opportunity mainly on Facebook and YouTube, especially targeting older adults. One of their diamonds pictured here is Tim Miller, the gentleman in a wheelchair who frequently shares his story about being homeless, disabled, and living on Social Security before joining LiveGood. What he doesn't mention, however, is that this isn't his first ride with Ben. Tim was actually one of Ben's right-hand men during the days of skinny body care. When Ben launched LiveGood, he brought along 3 trusted individuals from his past businesses, placed them high in the matrix from the very start, and magically, they all became diamonds. But not by working their way up like they preached to others, but by being strategically positioned at the top. Tim's story of overcoming adversity hits hard, especially for people who are disabled, on fixed incomes, or struggling financially. But the truth is, his success was never built under the same conditions they are facing today. LiveGood sells itself as a safer option. No big sales quotas, no heavy recruiting pressure, just a simple membership model. For older adults looking for something that feels low risk, that sounds much more doable. Their product line, supplements, wellness boosters, energy enhancers, is perfectly targeted to an audience at a stage in life where health becomes a major concern. Anything that promises more vitality, more energy, or better aging holds a very strong appeal. LiveGood also makes big claims about low-cost, high-payout opportunities. For older adults who are financially stretched, the promise of easy money without heavy lifting is incredibly tempting. They promote the idea of work from anywhere, freedom, which resonates powerfully because of age discrimination in the traditional job market. When it becomes harder to get hired, independent remote income seems like the perfect answer. LiveGood's branding is also very deliberate. Simple websites, casual videos, friendly language. It's designed to feel approachable for people who may not feel confident navigating complex tech platforms. LiveGood leans heavily into community building. For older adults who may be feeling isolated, a ready-made team that feels welcoming, even if it's transactional, can be very persuasive. At the end of the day, LiveGood is using the same old playbook. They sell hope by quietly playing into the fears, needs, and stereotypes that come with aging. If LiveGood represents the softer sell, a friendly face on an old system, OnPassive shows us what happens when these tactics are taken to a more extreme level and more extreme and dangerous level. With OnPassive, the promises weren't just about better health or small extra income. They were about changing your entire life, building wealth beyond imagination, and saving the world. Let's take a look at how OnPassive targeted older adults and why the damage they caused runs even deeper. Pictured here are some of those who joined OnPassive. Many of these faces became familiar thanks to their regular appearances on panel after panel in the endless webinar parade. Each founder held tightly to the belief that their illustrious CEO, Ash Mafara, sold them they would uplift humanity, change the world, and secure a better future, not just for themselves, but for everyone around them. It was a beautiful vision. Ash Mafara has an extensive history in the world of MLM. In 2018, he founded OnPassive, the culmination of years spent building failed business prototypes, each one paving the way to Go founders and ultimately OnPassive. Over and over, he recycled the same buzzwords: automation, hands-free, done for you, and guaranteed success. Each attempt was another prototype laying the groundwork for the final product, OnPassive. Over the years, Ash made promises such as automation, in which the system will build a business for you. But the reality was you had to recruit or spend more money to buy traffic, and the automation never worked as it was promised. Another promise he made was guaranteed spillover. You get people placed under you, and there's no recruitment. The truth is, spillover rarely happened in his ventures. Only those who joined early reaped the rewards. He also boasted multiple income streams, which meant that people had to join these extra MLMs he handpicked. People joined, people paid, waited, and nothing happened. Over and over again. Meanwhile, Mufara continued to profit off of whatever he funneled people into. With OnPassive, he scaled up his promises massively and added AI to make it sound fancier. No matter the project, Mufara wrapped old MLM and lead generation ideas in newer sounding buzzwords. When automation and spillover became stale, he changed it up using AI and next level. Same tactics, new flashy buzzwords made the new alleged opportunities sound exciting to the victims. Beginning in 2018 until July 1st, 2023, recruitment was heavy. Founder recruitment ended on July 1st, 2023. However, it did not actually stop per se. The closing of the founder positions was more of a PR move. They shifted to using different names such as OES registrations, brand ambassadors, and resellers, and baited people with the automation, AI promises, and the idea of the done-for-you system. OnPassive had a steady stream of webinars, such as the Friends and Family webinar, which was billed as just sharing with loved ones about, but it was actually a major recruitment weekly event, Tuesday and Thursdays. It was led by Milo Davis with his co-host Julie Wynn. Other hosts include Susie McRae and Marty DeGarmo, and in a supporting role, Chris Johnson. The Julie and Milo show spotlighted founder stories and was more of a gentle recruitment. Early on, Comfort Confor led the OnPassive Heroes, a webinar which pretended to be empowerment, but was actually global recruitment targeting immigrant countries. Trivia on Friday nights was a hidden pitch to join webinar because the goal was to recruit those who watched them. Meet the Leaders was supposed to be candid discussions, but it was actually a subtle pressure to lock in your position. The Ash Mafara Private Founders webinars were supposed to be private strategy updates, but in reality, they were very lengthy and went on for many hours. Yeah, up to 9-10 hours. These were recruitment theater. The Oh Bless webinars was alleged to be about launching a charity platform, which never happened. But it really pitched positions were about to help humanity. OnPassive promised a done-for-you business. No selling, no recruiting, no tech skills needed. For many older adults, that was a dream, a way to make money without the stress of learning new tools or working harder. They pushed emotional triggers too, promising members they could change their family's future and build a legacy. At a time when legacy matters most, the messaging landed. OnPassive also sold itself as a family, a community. For older adults facing isolation, that fake belonging was powerful. They used buzzwords like AI to tap into the fears of being left behind. Older adults were promised a way to stay relevant without needing to catch up on any new technology. Ageism made all of this even easier. Society assumes older adults can't adapt to tech. OnPassive said, "Don't worry, we'll do it for you." Financial insecurity after 50 makes false promises feel urgent. Instead of talking down, OnPassive flattered them as visionaries, gained their trust. And most everyone who joined didn't see the red flags. OnPassive didn't just sell hope. It sold hope designed to exploit the fears that come with aging. As a brief follow-up to my prior OnPassive presentations, because I had presented about OnPassive before at the conference, the company's main website now redirects to the founder back office login. The SEC's civil case alleging securities fraud and operation of a pyramid scheme was reportedly settled on March 26, 2024, though the settlement terms remain undisclosed. A stay of proceedings is currently in place, meaning the legal process is paused but not concluded. In the meantime, Ash Mafara continues to appear on webinars and hints of a new opportunity for his OnPassive founders. Earlier this year, my team identified a rebrand called OnFusion. The redacted business registration document you see here links the new venture directly to Mafara. As we've seen, MLMs like Enagic, LiveGood, and OnPassive do not just offer products. They sell powerful emotional illusions, health, wealth, independence, and community. But behind the dream lies a harmful reality targeting older people with ageist messaging and misleading recruitment tactics that prey on their vulnerabilities. From the done-for-you AI promises on OnPassive to the high-pressure upselling of Enagic's dream team and the matrix-based illusion of passive income from LiveGood, each system relies on constant recruitment and personal financial risk, not sustainable income. To address this growing crisis, we must educate seniors about common MLM tactics and red flags, implement age-inclusive financial literacy programs in community centers and online, and advocate for regulatory reform that classifies predatory MLM models as deceptive trade practices, along with continuing to support all creators working to expose MLM harm, along with other grassroots efforts. MLMs will always evolve their marketing, but we can evolve how we respond, protect, and empower our aging population. Thank you so much for your time. I hope that each of you will consider how to be part of the solution in protecting our older population. Recently, the World Health Organization held a webinar, which I attended incidentally, which they shared the release of the Ageism scale, a new way to measure ageism. If you're interested in seeing how you can leverage it in your research, I highly recommend that you look into it. It's included in my references. And again, thank you. And I'll just show you guys that, yes, I have references, a lot of references. And there you go. That, my dear friends, was my presentation. And where do I go to stop presenting? I always forget. If I just go up here, will that do it? There. Okay. I did it by doing that. Hey, there we go. So that was it. Let me see. As someone who is in their mid-40s, yes, I'm still young. But I get how women in my age range get sucked in like this stuff. Yeah, me too. I got sucked into it when I was I think in my late 40s, early 50s, something like that. And somebody said that they saw something that it was moved to, what did you say? Saw something that Instant Violet said, I saw an update in court list or settlement still being negotiated, deadline moved to the 7th of July. I did not see that it was moved to the 7th of July when I looked, but I will look sooner. But it was basically what happened on the 7th the other day, which was like, 2 days ago? It was a nothing burger. There was nothing, like, it was like, okay, yeah, we're working on language. I mean, and the whole thing is that the commission also has to like pass it, so to speak. They have to approve whatever is put out. Just because, they come to a quote agreement doesn't mean it's like, okay, we all wrap it up and like, yay. There could still be other things that could prevent it from concluding. I'll just put it in that way. And Joe, you are so right in terms of the founders is all they have is community. But what happens when that goes? I mean, myself, and I will come on camera, but this is going to flip in I looked into why I always have like a background. I can't get rid of a background and stuff. And it's now like flickering and it's going to bother me. I can remember very clearly when I did leave Beachbody, those people who I thought were my friends, gone. There's a couple of people that I guess I still know. I mean, we'll comment on each other's stuff, but it's not like what it was where we spoke to each other every single day, several times a day, and we were all gung-ho and, knew what was going in each other's lives. There's still kind of the idea of the community that you have, it's a false community, and I'm not saying the people I'm still associated with that they're like fake or anything like that. They're not. They're very good people that we know we've gone on with our lives. And so we're busy and we're doing things, but it's not, when they no longer have webinar after webinar after webinar to go to, I mean, think about how empty that will feel. I mean, that's going to absolutely be devastating to them because they've been doing this for, gosh, we're going to, this year 7. I mean, holy shit. And Vanessa says, this also sounds like what other MLMs are pitching. Now, I'm not exactly sure what you were referring to there, Vanessa. So if you can put that in chat and kind of like, let me know, I'd appreciate it. Let's see. And Queen says that turned into a commercial cults and cults of personality. Yeah. I mean, my stance is right there with you in terms like, it's overall, it's one great big huge giant cult because they all operate in the same way and they use a lot of the very same exact tactics. There's just different words, just different names and things that we use, and it's a different service or a different product and it's a different CEO. But overall, I mean, you could just take any of these CEOs and plop them in wherever. I mean, it's the same stuff over and over and over and over and over again ad nauseum. So it's I think it's just frustrating. At least I know for me, when I cover these things and I watch any of the pitches, like when we will watch one of these, pitches like join whatever. And it's like, gosh, I've heard this before. It's like, it's not like they come up with something new. It's the same shtick. It's just something else. And I think one of the things that really bothers me are how some people get stuck in this cycle, in this loop. And it's like they do become a completely different personality. They become, their MLM personality, just like you become like the cult personality. I say, you become the MLM personality because you're in a commercial cult and you behave and say things in a way that you never would in the past. And you're not who you were. You lose who you are. You lose like your soul or something or part of it. And it's heartbreaking. It's absolutely heartbreaking. Vanessa says, boom, this is all truth. Yeah. Thank you, Vanessa. Thank you. I think so. Thank you. Thank you, Queen. She says that was fabulous. Thank you. And Vanessa gave me applause. Sweet God says, great presentation. Joe gave me some clapping hands. Thank you, Joe. Okay. Oh, you want to get the references? I can actually, I can make the reference. I was going to do that. What I will do, because I've made all of this images, I will put all of my references there for you, like on a post or, like as images or something. But my entire presentation, I don't know if I can like upload the entire presentation like as a link or anything. Maybe I can put it on my website and have a link there so you can have like, all the slides there. What I am going to end up doing is probably creating like a blog post from this, and I'll probably create a LinkedIn, post as well. I'm just going to, turn it into additional types of content, maybe different things for Twitter. Because I think it's really, really important, because we don't really see people covering, when older people are involved. I mean, it's not as exciting, I mean, because you're looking at your mom and your grandma and stuff. And one of the things that I thought about, given my age, is that some of the people who are my age and maybe a bit older, it's like, we came up when, you got Avon. Like I got Avon as a little girl, of different, and I remember different things. I think I did a video about that many years ago, like products that I got as a kid, and I like loved them. They were like some really cool things. And that's one thing that I had. I remember it was my little bunny, and the little bunny's butt was a powder puff because it was like powder. And I just thought it was the cutest thing. And I had this other thing. It was like big lips, and there was like, lip gloss inside of it. Just they made some like really cute things. And that was before it really was more direct selling at the time, before it really became like the MLM problem that it ended up becoming. Just like Tupperware ended up going from like true direct selling to becoming really more, like it was an MLM. And so, but my point is that we grew up when we got things as a kid. Like if you were a woman, well, a female, a child, a girl child, whatever, you guys know what I'm talking about. There's a good chance that you got something from Avon, whether it's from your Aunt Minerva or from your grandma or something. There's a good chance that you got something like that, or that your aunt had Tupperware, or somebody that you knew, or maybe you attended a party and it was an MLM party and you didn't know that's what it was at the time. Because I look back in my own history and I'm like, oh, holy crap, that's what that was. I mean, I didn't know at the time. And that was long before we had social media and stuff. So there wasn't a way to get out, the message in mass about the harm that these things, do. But we have a way now, because just like they use social media to recruit, we use it to amplify the message of this shit's a problem. So there you go. There's that. I'm just so glad that you guys came here. Thank you, Sherry. Gave me some claps too. Thank you so much. And let me see. This must be about OnPassive. I think this is just a tactic his lawyers are using to buy them more time. Hey, Manhan. Thanks for joining. And Beth says that she was in her 20s when you were in It Works in Cincy. Yeah. Lawyers padding the billing. What happens is they are left alone and sometimes even attacked upon leaving. Yeah. I mean, I'm fortunate. I was never attacked because I kind of went silently into that good night and just kind of slunk away. And it just really didn't matter. Nobody really said anything to me, but I know plenty of stories of people of being attacked and everything. And Violet says, seems like MLMs have a strategy for everything, age and stage. Yeah, they absolutely. I mean, they've been at it for a very long time, they've like been able to figure out how to message things. And they've also been able to get in the hip pockets of a lot of people. And so therefore, things have been overlooked and things have been allowed to continue because they have not been called on the carpet as they really should be for all the harm that they have caused. Let's see. Queen says, Cincy almost took your best friend from high school. We're friends since grade school, 10, age 15. And I was in it for like 6 months. Oh, wow. Wow. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Level. Have you heard about, yes, I have heard about his health. I have, and, it's sad for anybody to be in the hospital, but, let's face it, the man has been out there for how many years pushing this stuff day after day, month after month, year after year. That's highly stressful. I mean, I'm surprised something hasn't happened to him sooner. I mean, personally, you know. Yeah, I knew that he went back into the hospital. So, I mean, it doesn't look good for him. And, I really, and they won't, because I mean, my hope is that they would look at this as maybe a wake up call of how it impacts your health. But we've had a number of people in OnPassive, who've gone into the hospital. I mean, we've had a number of people who are no longer with us. And, did that change anything for them? No, it didn't. It didn't. Hang on just a second. I'm looking to see if there was anything in here. Let's see. And Beth says, right, MLMs are the only socially accepted scams and cults. It's bizarre. Yeah. Well, I mean, again, because, they were at one point looked like, hey, we're not so bad, because nobody was calling them out. And they were able to get into the hip pockets of a lot of politicians and everything a long time ago. Now, I bought a couple of books that are there. I think DeVos wrote them, which I am going to be reading, because for me, I think it's very important to go back and look at the history of the people who started these things, because you learn a lot from them. And that's why I did some videos on the leaders in Amway. I didn't cover all of the organizations that they have in them, but I did do a number of them, because you learn a lot looking at that. Because although things came from Neutralite, which Amway ended up absorbing from the plan from Neutralite, which ended up going into Amway, and then from Amway, everything else, has been built upon that. It's very interesting to look back at these people and see what they did and how they did it. And they're the ones that had all these specialized tools, be it tapes and books and stuff, that they sold to their downlines. And there's still things like that going on. Look at Darren and Mike. They have this course. And I mean, you guys know how I feel about the course. Like, a lot of online stuff, a lot of the courses that I see, I'm like, yeah, this is crap. But that's because, I look at it from the viewpoint of being a professional instructional designer. And there's so many of them that it's just like, this is horrific. I don't know what you were thinking, that you thought people would learn anything. But, they don't care as long as they make money, because they don't really care if people are learning anything, because that's not the goal for them to learn anything. The goal is for the person selling the course to make money. And that's it. I mean, how many times have you seen things out there on the internet where it's like, oh, you want to learn about, okay, I don't like the way this is looking. I'm turning myself off. When you see something, and because I saw something recently, and it might be about, I don't know, like backpacking. And it's like, they're going to teach you to be the best backpacker, but you got to pay $499 to get all of the information and stuff. It's like, wow. So basically, you're just looking to make money off of people looking to do that. Okay. Like myself, I do like soaps and stuff, which, by the way, there is something that I did want to share with you, show you guys. I have not finished with it. Let me see if I can put some other things up there. Because I am looking to do memberships again. And these are, let's see, I'm going to share. Where is that? Why is it I never can remember where the share my screen is? Okay, that was the stop sharing right there, so I can share it over here. Okay, you guys can see my cute little bee over here. I have the waving bee, and there's detective bee. This is more like not detective bee. It's like, oh shoot, suspicious. The suspicious bee, facepalm bee, and angry bee. So those are going to be like the specialized emojis to start out with. And I am working on the badges for, like, when you first join, it's going to be like a little egg, the bee, just, being born. And I have like some other bee ideas, but I wanted to share that with you because obviously I'm not finished with all of that. So normal that they bleed out into their companies. They are legit and they use the same tactics. Yeah. They all use the same tactics. Mr. Level is saying, but I don't wish death on anyone. I don't either. But and you're right. He really does need to take it easy. And yeah, no more webinars. Stop doing this day after day. And maybe if he would stop, do you think Chris would stop too? Or do you think Chris would try to replace him? Because I don't think Chris has the same chops for it. You know what I mean? I just don't think he does. He needs to rest. He needs to rest. I don't think he's resting. He's going home, then doing OnPassive. Yeah, I mean, that's not resting. I mean, he was doing it from the damn hospital bed. How is that resting? You're in the hospital. Can you imagine if you are his roommate? Wouldn't you get damn tired of hearing about OnPassive? Shit. Santa brought you Avon when you were a child. Oh, and Joe, you remember that video that I did. Wow, because you go back to the very beginning. See, Sweet Goss says, a shop next to you stocks Avon products. Oh, the shop doesn't like you. I bet they do. Oh, gosh. Let's see. Vanessa remembers the Avon booklets in the mail. Oh, my gosh, me too. And I loved looking at them. It was so much fun. Violet says, in South Africa, there was a big one selling expensive but kitsch bedding. Oh. See what else is people saying. They are scared as we are starting to take back the narrative and they can't control the narrative story. Yeah, that they really hate that they can't control it anymore. There's too many people speaking out. Let me see. What do you say? Did anyone see the lame attempt DSA did against the little bosses anywhere? No, I did not see that. I actually have the book and I will be interviewing her at some point. And I hope you guys will all, watch it. I don't know if I'll do it live or if I'll do it recorded, but either way, I sure hope you guys show up for that. And CD says, oh, good to see you, CD. I think all the back and forth Ash's lawyers had to do with Morlock deposition and ended up giving the SEC 7 hours with him. Ash saw he couldn't afford to last until next April. Each filing costs money. Yeah, it does cost money. It ain't cheap. It's not cheap. Oh my gosh. Yeah. The coaching coaches. Yeah. I just saw a video on that the other day of somebody that I watch, and it's not somebody who normally does that kind of stuff, but they did mention that. And it's like, it's so true. It's like a coach to coach coaches who are being coached by someone else. Oh no, I know, it was Sweet Goth. It was your post. It was your post on Twitter about it. I think that's where I saw it. Yeah. In it to scam, it says Alps. Nice to see you, sweetheart. Jelly says, I feel like Chris would continue Marty's job out of love for Marty. Oh, but I mean, would he be able to, quote, captivate the audience the way that Marty has? And I don't know if he's really been captivating people lately. It's just, I don't think that he's been getting the views he once got, And Joe, you said you will watch. Well, good. I'm glad. And you ordered the book. Yeah, I will start reading it pretty soon. now that I have some more time, because, there are some other things that I do want to do streams about. One of them is that I think it's called prosperity or whatever it was that we found when I was looking at send out cards from, the bro bots, and we're looking at that stuff together. And I found how something else was connected to send out cards. I'm like, okay, I'm interested in that. And then I found this other dude I want to look into, because he has a long history of scam after scam and stuff. But he's not as many as Ken Russo. I guess Ken Russo like has the where's the crown on that, because it's so damn many. Can't count them. Violet, I'm sitting next to you on the same bus because I don't know either. I just don't get it either. I mean, the only thing I can think of is like, okay, are they grandparents also that have watched grandkids, maybe had to take care of their grandkids? I don't know. Because, I don't find him to be like a captivating speaker, because a lot of these people, for instance, the, what are they, a husband and wife group, and I think they were with Monet at one time. And he's from the US, and I forget where she's from, and I can't think of their last name. But it's Nadia and whatever the husband's name is. They're captivating to listen to. It's like, they seem very personable. They're not. I mean, they don't care about you, but they can make it seem like they do, and they're much better speakers. So I always find that so weird, because, Marty's not the most eloquent speaker at all, but yet people flock to him, and I don't get it. You're glad that there's another book out like Ponzi-nomics. Yeah, I'm glad too. Yeah. Happy Friday to everyone, says Beth. Anything else that I am missing here? Yeah, I agree that, especially Ponzi-nomics. I mean, Robert's work, and I'm going to put his work above Little Bosses Everywhere, because of how long he has been involved in all of this and the work that he has done to bring this to attention and everything. I mean, Robert is an amazing human being. He's a very kind human being, and a very bright human being as well, as is David Brer, which I was talking to David earlier today. David's over he lives in France now, but he's from the UK. And David is, if you have not gone to his blog, it's The American Dream Made Nightmare. And David writes some incredible stuff over there. I mean, I just love him to pieces. And he's a good friend. He's someone like, when I need to talk to someone, he's a really good person to go to, because, he calms me down over certain things, and he also provides insight into things that I'm looking at, and, very, very helpful. So I'm very grateful for his friendship. Let's see. I want to say Marty is what? Oh my gosh. Yeah. Ugh. See, I hate that. I just hate that. I mean, because I mean, I'm sorry. The man he's not a good human. He's not a good human. So they're having a bad human lead them, just while they're having, Ash too. So in my opinion, neither one of them are good humans. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm not going to put that up, Beth, of what you said and what Salami said about Marty, and so I just can't do that. I'm just not going to do that. You guys are funny though. Oh gosh, this is tongue the compass. Oh my gosh. Okay, you guys, you know what? I'm just not. But, I would think that they would want anyone as a quote leader. But then again, I mean, Ashma Farah, it's always like he was dealing with the 10th string to begin with, He's not dealing with the polished people that we have seen in others. You're going to have to send your chat GPT pics. Oh, please send them to me. I would love to see it. Tell people to read the chat, even in the replay. Okay, yeah, you guys can check out the chat. Because my people are crazy over here going nuts. Well, yeah, there has to be better people on this planet than them. But I mean, I think about looking at LiveGood. Yeah, not such good people. Look at the Brobots, not such good people. Any of these people who are shilling this stuff and making money off of people that are believing in the dream that they're sold, they're just not good people, because they're the ones banking, bottom line. Just email it to me. So I'm sure you guys would be down for me to stream on some other stuff, like the other kind of weird things that I've stumbled into, which I think I have put links to somewhere, like I was collecting stuff as I was researching and writing for the presentation and everything. I came across some really bizarre things. And I will be doing something. Hopefully I'll get some stuff together before next Friday, because next Friday is my birthday. So I may be streaming then, and no telling what it will be about. Probably about some kind of nonsense that I find, just because, it'll be nonsense to share. But maybe I'll do something else this weekend, depending on if I find those links of what I was looking at. There's something else on the Brobots that I do want to share as well. And unfortunately, somebody who was doing a lot of stuff on them, his channel has all of the videos about those Canadian Brobots. They're all private now. So I'm guessing that they got to him in some way. And that's really unfortunate. And apparently he also had a Facebook group, and the Facebook group, isn't around either, which again, that's unfortunate. Did Nuvi most speak up about them? Yeah, but don't use their videos, so they can't do anything yet. Oh, okay. Is this a new one? Is that a new one? Now that's real interesting. Yeah, there's another one that is coming out. That's something else that I found, one that is coming out. I don't think it's come out yet. Yep, they do copyright strike. Yep, they copyright struck us both. And that's another reason why I put up that, they're public figures. Everybody who has been, in these things, that's why any images of all of these people, they're public figures, because, they're the ones that are running ads. They're the ones I could find their stuff very easily. It's not like, it was hidden. Your stuff was very easy to find. So, or things are sent to me of people who are being, that are in it. So once you join, you're a public figure. It's a whole heap of ex-modere. Oh, tippy top reps. Oh, okay. Okay. They struck Julie and Aaron and Vanessa. Oh, so you covered them without using their videos. Oh, nice. Nope, you can't. Yep. If you're just reading stuff, that's very true. That's interesting. I might have to look at them just because, Oh, you're in Australia, Vanessa? Well, one of my best friends is from there. She lives here now. She and we bonded because we both have endometriosis. And I was touring the school. And when I toured the school, somehow she and I got to talking and found out we both had endometriosis. And, we've been fast friends ever since then. And I'm talking for, well over 20 years that we've been friends. So that's always, something good. So, okay, Vanessa has a channel. Okay, good. What's your channel name? Vanessa, let us know your channel name. We're spiteful over here when people go after our anti-MLM buddies. That whole striking people because they're speaking out about something that they find is causing harm, I think is really disgraceful. But it also shows you that they're afraid of you, They don't want people to know the truth. I mean, think about how many times have people spoken out, whether it's about Microsoft or Apple or, different things. And guess what? The companies just keep on going. Now, I know, I'm sure there's some lawsuits that we don't know about. But overall, if I came out and was like, I just hate Microsoft because of blah, 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 they probably wouldn't bat an eye, It's like, who am I? Little no one. So is Vanessa Moon the channel, or is it Pink Moon Witch? Which is it? I need to know. But I don't like people that, especially the companies striking or Top Hun striking and shit. I just don't like it at all. Don't go after with 500K subscribers, though. Yeah, so there's that. Your channel is this username. Okay. I have a heap of YouTube shorts. Oh, we're actually getting into videos. I don't know how to do the YouTube short thing. I don't know to do the tick or the talk or any of that shit. What can I say? I'm long-winded. And and I'm not doing recorded videos because of the chronic pain and shit that I have. So I stream a lot now because it's easier on my body to do. And I like doing live dives with you guys because I think it's kind of fun to go and look at the different stuff and to see like, where does it take us and all that sort of stuff. Well, Vanessa, I'm really glad that you are making content and all that. I'm on Instagram too. I'm not over there very often. Quite frankly, I'm really not. I hardly ever post anything. Like, it's very rare these days. Yeah, I'm done with your phone. Yeah, I mean, I could do something, but you know what? I'm probably not. That's the bottom line. It's real simple. I'm just probably not. It's like, I just like to get on here and ramble. What can I say? Well, guys, I'm going to get down on the go-go, but I do want to say thank you so much for being here. So you were able to see my full presentation. And I did add in a couple of things here and there for you guys. And I did read it at a much slower pace than what I was reading it. When I was going to do the full thing at the conference, I was reading everything as quickly as I could, trying not to take hardly any breaths because, I was trying to be cognizant. I need to get going here. But here, we can relax and take some time. Well, I think, okay, little Miss Muffin, she put herself under the covers and now Chalupa's down at the end of the bed. So there you go. You barely make them because I don't have a phone. Oh, well, that would be a problem. Anyways, I'm going to go. I may do something else this weekend. I don't know, but, just look for me. And thank you so very much for being here. I appreciate it so much. Have a good one. And don't forget, you're beautiful and I love you. Until next time, good night, everyone. Take it easy.